Washington to Wall Street and covering the world. America's First News with Matt Ray is on the air.
And good Wednesday morning. America's First News continues on this 13th day of May, 34 minutes past the hour, and more than 62,000 people visited Georgia from neighboring states as the state reopened to some businesses, according to research from the University of Maryland. The biggest influx coming from Florida. Let's bring in our regular guest. My guest is a two-time Emmy Award-winning TV producer, marketing and branding guru for Fortune 500 companies. As a manager, he built the Steve Harvey Media brand. He's on my show every week to discuss money-making conversations that are happening in the world today that affect you, your business, and your family. Welcome, Rushion McDonald. Good morning, my friend.
I happen to be on the show every week to talk about it. The country is reopening, but we have to remember this is a world pandemic. Yeah. As the global economy has struggled, so will the United States. So as we reopen, there's not a magic pill here. We are a mixed bag of confusion, a mixed bag of whether the jobs will be available when we start looking for jobs and who exactly is hiring. And you brought up something that was really important about the state of Georgia reopening and traffic that came into the states. And it was noted that 92% of those daily visitors that you talked about were from the states of Alabama, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Florida. So after they saw that data, I'm talking about South Carolina, Tennessee, Florida, and Alabama, they began lifting their rules of measuring of lockdown rules. So it's like follow the next person. Each person is following each other, and nobody has a rule, and nobody's being guided down a path of what to do right or what to do wrong. And you heard that a lot from Dr. Fauci's commentary on through Zoom to the Congress yesterday.
Well, I want to talk about that because he was asked about PPE for citizens, everyday citizens, those of us not on the front line. Why are face masks, why is this causing tension? Why are face masks, of all things, Rushion?
Well, it goes into several lanes. Financial reasons. A lot of people, that's one part of our budget. Nobody had a budget for face masks or hand sanitizer, so there's financial reasons. And then there's arrogance, because we are a state of independent thinkers. People can walk around with guns, and people go, you can't make me. You can't make me. And so what's happening is, even though we are authorizing a lot of states like Costco, a lot of stores like Costco and Whole Foods, and a lot of other places are saying you can't enter or you should be wearing a face mask, and it's creating confrontation because people don't want to be told what to do. As you know, there have been deadly consequences. Flint, Michigan, there was a deadly situation with a security guard who stopped someone and told them they couldn't enter without a mask. There was a McDonald's. There was some shooting going on at McDonald's just yesterday, Target related. It's the whole issue of being told what to do. And I have to be honest, it starts at the top, because we're not getting clear messages from our president and our vice president. Yesterday, Vice President Pence decided to wear a face mask, but they should have been wearing face masks all along. Leadership got to guide us. It's like parents. If your parents do, then you do, or you understand there's a responsibility to do. Because we get so many mixed messages, it's causing a disruption of independent thinkers who are not following the proper guidelines of, I want to be safe. I will be honest with you, when I go out in public, Matt, I wear a face mask. My wife wears a face mask. My daughter wears a face mask, because I've been told by the CDC this is what we should do to not only keep myself healthy and safe, but other people who come in contact with me. So it's a group effort to move forward like this, because we all know once the pandemic there's no vaccine for the pandemic, and now that we're reopening the country, we know there's going to be a spike. So we should all follow the rules.
Yeah. And one thing I will add is when we talk about masks, Rushion, and you mentioned it, you're protecting yourself, but the spread of this, you're protecting others as well, because of just all of the asymptomatic cases. What's the future of reopening, Rushion? Stimulus checks, some people still haven't received them.
Well, I'm going to try to help a few people out here. The IRS, you can't call. And that's the most frustrating thing. And I will go public here. I did receive my PPP check on the second round. Mm-hmm. It was not a check that changed my life, I will tell you that. The average PPP distribution check on the second round is like $79,000. And so that let you know that the amount that's being distributed out to small businesses are really not going to be that much impactful. I'm thankful that I got it. Don't tell me, don't say that I'm creating negative vibes here, Matt, on your show, but it's not enough to move the economy ahead. Just like the stimulus check that they delivered the first round wasn't enough to move the economy ahead. And the worst part about that, all people who were able to receive it didn't receive it because either got trapped at the person who filed their accounting, they didn't go online and set up their online bank accounts. So if you're having any problems about getting your stimulus check, go to this site here. It's called www.irs.gov coronavirus get my payment. It's called get-my-payment. And as you can do it, you can Google it, and they can help you get your check, your stimulus check. Because a lot of people, because there's no phone number that you can call in regards to the stimulus check. Because of the problem that we have in here, Matt, is that not only are people not getting their stimulus checks, but they're having difficulty getting their unemployment checks. Because of the fact, why? Because of the backlog. People have gotten ill due to the pandemic and the workload. Nobody was prepared for a workload that was this overwhelming, where you have over 33 million people who have applied for unemployment. So you go to this website, get-my-payment. It's a coronavirus website that's been specifically set up to help people get their stimulus checks.
Rashawn, I was just speaking with a colleague, and we were talking about retail and restaurant before this, and that's a large part of small business. Can small business make a comeback after this?
I think it's going to be a struggle because right now we all know that let's talk about the restaurant business. That's the biggest issue right now because you have social distancing, and we know all restaurants operate by volume. And so that means that you can operate only when you open your doors, you're operating with 25% capacity, and everything else has to be to go. So when you look at the whole thing, that's what I was saying earlier about the mixed bag. We can reopen, but who will be hiring anybody? We open into a mixed bag of available jobs and stimulus and unemployment checks that everyone is not getting. And so a lot of companies are not going to be opening when they are not going to maintain their status to reopen, like Sears, JCPenney's, J. Crew, Neiman Marcus, StubHub, AMC Theaters, which deals with live audience, and WeWorks, Hertz, Steak and Shake. These companies some of them have filed bankruptcy. Some of them stock, like Best Buy and Bed Bath & Beyond, stock has dropped tremendously. So when I say we reopen the country, who's going to hire us? A lot of companies like these small businesses and these large big box businesses are not going to be able to hire anybody because they don't have the volume or the traffic to justify their hiring. What's going to happen now, unfortunately, this is a segment that's about money-making conversation, but we can't make money till we get the economy moving forward, and we have to reopen the country to get it to move forward. But when we reopen the country, it's going to be so jarred that hiring will not be available to everybody. So you have to shift and go to other different jobs. And next week on our show, I'm going to have different job outlets that people can apply for because the jobs that you may be doing now may not be available for you in the future.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, we had set this up before the pandemic, so I feel these money-making conversations are more important than ever. Rashawn, you can catch all of our conversations, Matt Ray and Rashawn McDonald, money-making conversation segments uploaded to YouTube on Rashawn's Money-Making Conversations channel. Rashawn McDonald, we will do it again next week, same time. How's that sound?
Thank you, and I have more information on how people can get jobs. It's time to help them. It's time to help them, Matt.
Yeah, I agree 100%.